morning. We're looking off to the west, southwest, and a bright object in the sky. That's the moon, the full moon. Officially, it was full close to midnight last night, but we'll call it full again today. It's this month's full moon is the strawberry moon. That's a nice sounding thing for this morning, especially knowing that we've got some storms heading our way here for today, with a chance for a few of them in the morning hours. Here's a look at your radar right now. It's pretty quiet for most of us. We're seeing some returns out to the west, but it's kind of been falling apart as they've been forming, and they haven't quite made their way into our viewing area this morning. So we're still looking pretty quiet, relatively speaking. But as we take a closer look toward Bismarck, you could see some rain and thunder in and around the Bismarck area back over to the west. And that's going to try to move eastward. As we progress through the morning, we might see more of this happening, and eventually some of these could shift eastward into our viewing area coming up for this morning. And there could be some pretty big hail producers. That's the big threat with these. Of course, the lightning and downpours too, but hail is the parameter, that's the severe weather parameter that we might be dealing with these isolated storms, if they can hold together, that is. Checking out your tri-state view. Otherwise, radar looking really quiet this morning. It is kind of the calm before the storm. We have some storm chances coming up for late tonight that could prove severe as well. So here's a look at our temperatures. There's definitely a boundary here in the valley. We've got cooler air to the north, warmer air to the south. We're at 70 degrees in Fergus Falls. Fargo is at 63. And up north, we're looking at some low to mid 50s up along the Canadian border and over toward the east. Wind is out of the south. Wind speeds are pretty light at the moment, at less than 10 miles per hour. As we get into the day, we'll start to feel more of that humidity and mugginess. Right now, the Southern Valley is really in the thick of it. And thick is the word. It feels like you're walking through soup in some of these areas. 70 degrees in Fergus Falls, 66 in Gwinner. Up to the north, a lot drier. Basically, when you're looking at dew point temperatures, the higher the number, the more muggy it feels. And getting into the 60s and 70s, that's when we start to get in that muggy and oppressive range. And what's happening is eventually this front's going to lift northward, so that moisture and the heat will also move northward with it. So you'll see some increasing mugginess in the Northern Valley today, too. So here's a look at our hour-by-hour planner. We've got some chances this morning, again, for some isolated storms right along that front. And right now, that's in the Southern Valley. So we're looking at that chance maybe right along that I-94 corridor. This is 7 o'clock. We could have a couple of those storms rolling eastward. Our model here indicating that we could be seeing some stronger storms around the noon hour in the Wahpeton area. And I switched models to a different version. And this one, both the first one I showed at the top of the show and this version too, indicating that we could be getting a good thunderstorm around Wahpeton at lunchtime. So might want to bet on that here later today. Now that moves off to the east. This front continues to lift northward, and into the afternoon we could see a couple of scattered or isolated storms still firing along that front. So around 5 o'clock, looking at our temperatures, it looks quite warm. We're going to be in the upper 80s in parts of the Southern Valley. Muggy, steamy out there. Northern Valley still quite warm, just not quite to that level. We're looking at some low to mid to perhaps even some upper 80s with that chance for a few showers or thunder showers. Now getting into later tonight, still looking quiet for us here in the valley, or I should say a break from the action for us here in the valley. But as we go through the overnight hours, severe weather that develops in central and western North Dakota will start blasting eastward, and we could end up with some damaging wind. This looks like a damaging wind event for us, though we can't rule out hail or even an isolated tornado overnight. But some of us are likely, especially out west, going to get woken up by some of these storms. This will continue moving east. Time frame, I would plan on after midnight. The timing on when these set up is a little iffy, and it's going to be such a fast mover. It's going to be hard to pinpoint exactly when that's going to be rolling its way through your hometown. Now heading into the afternoon hours tomorrow, we clear out. We're looking at partly cloudy skies and quieter conditions for the rest of the day. Our severe thunderstorm risk, a slight risk for many in northwest Minnesota and many of us in North Dakota under an enhanced risk. We could see numerous severe thunderstorms. Again, damaging wind gusts are our biggest concern. And since it's overnight, if we're sleeping, have a way of being warned. You can download the Valley News Live Weather app and select to have those alerts sound off, so you can be alerted when those warnings come through and get woken up and get to your safe space. Now heading into the weekend, we're looking at some 70s to some low 80s with more chances for storms.
Yeah, kind of an active couple of days.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lisa.
If you're looking for those fireworks to finalize your 4th of July shopping, we have some ideas for you coming up right here on the Valley Today.